Every setback, every problem, every time it feels like the world is against you, it's not the end. It's a sign, a test, a chance to grow. Most people give up when things get hard, but you don't have to. There's another way. One small shift in how you think can change everything. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. This moment could be the start of your comeback. I, Napoleon Hill, have learned that the real test comes when nothing goes your way. When everything feels hard, when no one helps, and when nothing works out, that's when your true strength shows. Success doesn't come when things are easy. It comes when you keep moving forward, even when you feel lost or alone. Keep going without waiting for support or praise. That's how real success begins from inside you. 1. Control your mental state. There are times in life when nothing seems to work. You try your best, you make plans, you do what you believe is right, and still, things fall apart. You lose the job you worked hard for. A close relationship ends. People turn away. Dreams slip through your fingers. In those moments, it feels like the world is against you. But let me tell you something that may surprise you. The most important thing you can control in such a time is not your situation, it's your mind. When everything outside is falling apart, your thoughts become your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. If you let fear take over, if you let doubt settle in, if you allow bitterness to grow in your heart, then your fall becomes harder, deeper, longer. But if you learn to control your thinking, even in the middle of pain and loss, you create the strength that lifts you back up. So, what does it mean to control your mental state? It means choosing your attitude when things are not going your way. It means not giving in to every thought that enters your mind. It means standing guard at the door of your thinking. You can't stop negative thoughts from showing up, but you can stop them from taking charge. You can say, I choose something better. You may ask, why is this so important? Because your mind controls how you feel, and how you feel controls what you do. If you believe there is no hope, you won't try. If you believe you are stuck, you won't move. But if you believe that even now, even after all that has gone wrong, you still have something left in you, then you will begin to take small steps forward. And those steps matter more than you think. Now, how do you control your thoughts when your heart is heavy and your world is shaking? Begin with stillness. Take a moment to sit quietly, breathe deeply. Think of just one thing you're grateful for. It could be something simple, like the sound of rain or the feel of warm sunlight on your skin. This small act begins to shift your state. From there, do something physical. Stand up, make your bed, wash your face, move your body. These simple actions help you feel alive again. Speak to yourself kindly. Don't repeat the words of your critics. Don't replay the pain over and over. Tell yourself what you would tell a dear friend. This is not the end. You're not finished. You're learning. You're growing. Say it until you believe it. Write it down if you must. Repeat it daily. Picture someone who just lost their job after working faithfully for 20 years. They come home full of shame. They sit in silence thinking it's all over. But the next morning they wake up early. They put on their best clothes. They clean the kitchen. They write down everything they've learned over the years. They begin to imagine new ways to use those skills. Each day they build strength. Not because their life has changed overnight, but because they have changed within. That is the power of the mind. You may not control the world, but you can control how you meet the world. You can meet it with anger or with purpose. You can meet it with despair or with faith. The choice is always yours. And that choice, your mental state, is where true change begins. 2. Set a new target. When everything goes wrong, when life takes a turn you didn't expect, it can feel like you're standing in the middle of a storm with no idea where to go. The path you were walking has disappeared. The plan you trusted has crumbled. You feel lost, unsure, and tired. In times like these, many people stay frozen. They keep thinking about what was. They try to fix the past. But the past cannot be changed. The only way forward is to choose a new direction, to set a new target. A target is something you aim for. It gives you purpose. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning. Without a target, you drift. You let the wind push you wherever it pleases. But with a target, you take control of your direction. You begin to move with purpose again. After a big loss or failure, it's easy to believe you've run out of chances. But that's not true. What's true is that the path you were on might no longer serve you. Maybe it was not the right road anymore. Maybe it has reached its end. Now you are being given the chance to decide again, to dream again. That's a powerful thing, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. So how do you choose a new target? You begin by asking yourself what matters most to you now, not what mattered 10 years ago, not what others want for you, but what feels right in your heart today. Think about what brings you peace, what excites your spirit, what kind of life you want to build. Write it down clearly, picture it in your mind, make it real in your imagination. Then, ask yourself what you are willing to do to reach that target. Are you willing to start small? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to fail again in order to learn something new? If you are, then you are already on your way. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a man who spent many years learning a trade. He was proud of his work. One day, the place he worked shut down. Suddenly, everything he knew was no longer needed. For weeks, he sat in silence, unsure of what to do. But one evening, he took a walk. He thought about the joy he once felt teaching others the trade he loved. A thought came to him, what if I could teach young people the skills I've learned? That night, he wrote down a plan. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't complete, but it was a target. It gave him something to move toward. And with each small step, he began to rebuild his life in a new direction. That is the power of a target. It brings back hope. It lights a small fire in the dark. Even when the world feels heavy, a clear target helps you carry the weight. It reminds you that your story isn't finished. You are still becoming. You are still growing. What you aim at will shape who you become. So, don't wait for life to feel easy before you choose a new path. Don't wait for someone else to hand you a plan. Decide for yourself. Trust what speaks to your heart. Set a target that moves you, even if it feels far away. Step by step, day by day, you will grow into it. And one day you'll look back and realize that losing your old path was the beginning of something far greater. 3. Use failure as fuel. There will be moments in life when you give something your best, your time, your effort, your heart, and it still doesn't work out. You make a plan, you follow it, and still you fall short. The pain of failure can feel heavy. It can make you question your worth, your future, and even your reason for trying. But if you look at failure the right way, it becomes more than just a hard moment. It becomes fuel for something better. Failure is not the end unless you make it the end. It is not a sign that you are finished. It is a message. It is trying to tell you something about what needs to change, what needs to grow, and where you need to go next. Most people are afraid of failure because they believe it means they are not good enough. But that's not true. Failure simply means that something didn't work the way you thought it would. It means there's something to learn. When you fail, you are given something more valuable than success, the chance to understand yourself better. You get to see your weak spots. You get to learn what doesn't work. You get to feel what it means to fall and still decide to rise again. That decision, that strength becomes your power. So how do you use failure as fuel? First, face it. Don't run from it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Look at it with open eyes. Ask yourself what went wrong, but don't ask in anger or shame. Ask with curiosity. What could I have done differently? What did this teach me? What new skill, habit, or mindset can I build from this experience? Once you've learned from it, take action. Start again, but start wiser. Begin again, but this time with more clarity. Let the memory of failure push you not into fear, but into focus. Let it drive you to prepare better, to be more patient, to sharpen your plan. Every great success story is built on failure. The difference is that the successful person used the lessons while others only felt the pain. Let me share a story. Imagine a woman who starts a small shop with all her savings. She works hard every day, but after a year the shop closes. At first she is filled with sadness. She feels ashamed, but one day she sits down and writes out everything she learned, what she would change, what she would never do again, what she did right, even if it didn't last. A new idea forms in her mind. This time she starts smaller. She picks a better place. She understands her customers better. And slowly, with the lessons of her first failure as her guide, her second effort succeeds. That is what it means to use failure as fuel. You burn the past not to destroy it, but to warm the future. You let it light your way forward. You stop fearing it, and you start listening to it. You stop running from it, and you begin walking through it, step by step, with your head high and your heart steady. Failure will come. It comes to all of us. But what you do with it, that is what shapes your story. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it stop you, or you can let it move you forward. The choice is yours. Let it be your fire. Let it be your fuel. 4. Reclaim discipline and routine. When life falls apart, it often takes your daily rhythm with it. You stop doing the little things that once gave shape to your day. You sleep in too long, eat without thought, skip the things that used to bring you strength, and before you know it, you feel like a stranger to yourself. You don't recognize your habits, your thoughts, or even your own energy. This is the moment to pause, take a breath, and begin again not with something big, but with something small and steady. This is the time to reclaim discipline and routine. Discipline is not a harsh word. It is not about punishment. It is about power, the quiet kind. The kind that says, I will rise even when I don't feel like it. It is the voice inside that chooses to do what is needed instead of what is easy. And routine is the path that discipline walks on. A routine gives your days shape, even when everything else feels uncertain. Why is this so important when things go wrong? Because when the world outside feels broken, a strong routine helps rebuild the world inside you. It reminds you that you still have control over something. It shows you that you can still choose your next move. When you make your bed, go for a walk, eat a simple meal at the same time each day, or spend a few minutes in quiet thought, you are telling yourself, I have not given up. Start with something simple. Don't try to fix everything at once. Wake up at the same time each morning. Stretch your body. Write one clear thought or goal for the day. These small steps might not seem powerful at first, but over time, they become the ground you stand on. They help you find your balance again. Let me share a story. Picture a man who loses his way after years of working hard. His business closes. His savings run dry. He feels like a failure. He stops shaving. He stops walking. He stops talking much at all. One day, while sitting in the quiet, he remembers his old morning routine, how he used to rise early, wash his face, take a short walk, and read something to strengthen his mind. The next morning, he tries it again. Just that. Nothing more. For the first time in months, he feels like himself. He repeats it the next day and then the next. Slowly, the fog begins to lift. He doesn't have all the answers yet, but now he has something better. Motion, direction, strength. That is what discipline and routine can do. They help you remember who you are when the world tries to make you forget. They bring order to the chaos. They carry you when motivation disappears. You don't have to feel strong to act strong. In fact, it is often the action that brings back the strength. Reclaiming discipline does not mean you must be perfect. You will have slow days. You will miss a step. But that doesn't matter. What matters is returning again and again to the rhythm you are building. Like the steady beat of a drum, it becomes the sound of your recovery. It becomes the signal that you are not done, that your best days are not behind you. So rise with the Sunday, drink water, move your body, clean your space, sit in silence. Do it not because you feel like it, but because you know you need it. These small acts will rebuild your spirit, one steady step at a time, and soon, what once felt broken will begin to feel whole again. 5. Surround yourself with energy. When life gets hard, it is easy to pull away from others. You feel tired, embarrassed, or too weak to talk. You begin to carry your troubles alone. And while being alone may seem peaceful for a time, staying there too long can make your thoughts heavy and your heart cold. That is why, in moments when nothing is going your way, you must surround yourself with the right kind of people, the kind who bring energy, not take it away. The people around you matter more than you think. Their words, their attitudes, their actions, they either lift you or pull you down. If you are surrounded by people who only speak of failure, fear, and blame, their way of thinking can slowly become your own. But if you're around people who believe in progress, who look for solutions, who remind you of what's still possible, their light will help you find your own again. It's not just about being with others, it's about being with the right kind of others, the kind who listen without judging, the kind who push you to keep going when you want to stop, the kind who see your worth even when you've forgotten it. These people are not always easy to find, but they are worth looking for.